Hey everyone, Carl here again and welcome to week 7 of Seapoint Skills. Now every week we have had a special guest on with us to showcase various skills for you guys to try at home, and this week is no different. So taking you through a very small tip on how to generate more power in your passing is Kieran Hurl from Leinster Rugby, who is a coach and player development officer. Take it away, Kieran.
Hey guys, Huz here. Hope you're all safe and well. Over the next little while I'm going to go through a few videos of things that you can be working away on while we're in isolation. Hopefully we can get back on pitch together soon. The first one we're going to talk about is something that we don't really talk about when we're coaching the key factors of the pass, and it's something that we can get just by doing something, focusing on something a little different. So we're going to talk about the power of the pinky. When we're passing the ball, we often talk about receiving the ball early and finishing our hands through the target. We can also generate a little bit of extra power just by focusing on our pinky finger being the last thing to leave the ball. Okay, so when we're holding the ball in a normal pass, we're still focusing on taking that ball nice and early. We're still focusing on getting square as we're traveling, and we're focusing on finishing the hands to target. But if we can also add that pinky finger being the last thing to leave the ball. If we've got smaller hands, you can also try and dig that pinky finger into the seam of the ball. Okay, so you can get a little bit more purchase on the ball. And then when we're finishing through, just really focus on my last point of contact on the ball being that pinky finger, and exaggerate that through to contact. 3 activities that you can use to work on this is just really simply sitting on the couch or sitting outside if you've got a little bit of space, and just throwing the ball up to yourself and catching. Really focusing on the last point coming off that ball being my pinky finger. Make sure you're using both hands, obviously, so you can generate that touch and that feel for both hands. The second one, if you're lucky enough to have a little bit of space outside and a wall, we can do a stationary pass, again focusing on receiving that ball. If I've got smaller hands or I want to try and grab the ball using that seam, dig that pinky finger in, mark that spot on the wall, and really exaggerate those hands through to contact, focusing on the power of the pinky and that being the last thing to leave the ball. Third one, this is if we've got a little bit more space. Quite often we do these reduced skills stationary and in isolation. So if we can try and do a little bit more where we're moving, and our target, if we're lucky enough to have someone at home that can help us, or if that target's on the wall, then at least I'm putting a little bit more degree of difficulty in it with my moving. So if I simulate taking the ball early, I'm digging my pinky finger in, I'm moving, and I'm exaggerating that hand through to contact. The power of the pinky, exaggerate through to contact. If you've got space, get outside. If you don't, be safe inside and make sure there's nothing that you're going to break inside. Hopefully see you guys soon. Take care.
Thanks very much for that, Kieran, or Huz as he likes to be referred to. A very useful piece of detail there that all of you can put into practice. Now, our Make Your Point challenge will conclude next week as we enter into the grand final stage. Now, we've had some preliminary votes this week to determine who's going to progress into that grand final, and the winning entries are on your screen now. As we had a draw in Group 1, both Molly Corrigan and Luke Darcy have progressed from the first round of voting, and they will be joined by Rebecca Dunn, who took Group 2, and finally Ethan Doyle, who was the last person to qualify from Group 3. So these 4 Seapointers will go head-to-head in the grand final to win the ultimate prize of their very own tile on the Seapoint Make Your Points Wall of Fame in the new clubhouse developments. This vote will happen between Monday the 22nd until Friday the 26th of March on the Seapoint Twitter page. So the very best of luck to all the finalists. It's been a great competition so far, and we'll announce the official winner on Seapoint Skills next week.